Hello and welcome to Catholic Creatives Creation of the Week discussion here. My name is Christian Murphy and really excited to be here with you. This is a new adventure that we're going down here where get to write for the Creation of the Week blog, and I get to know some of these artists and witness some of the great work that they're doing, and then try my best to put it into a little write-up that can capture them. And recently been thinking about how we can make it a little bit stronger and better and offer more opportunities for everyone else to get to know artists in a more deeper way. And so I found myself in writing some of these blogs that I'd love to have a deeper conversation with some of these artists and just get to know them more and then share that. So here we are, we're trying something new where we'll have a conversation with the creator of the week and the creation of the week artist, and just take a dive into creative process, creation, all different types of things, and just see where it goes. So this is our first time doing this. We're really excited. And our guest is Abbey Reznicek, who is of Abbey Reznicek Photography and Videography, focusing in wedding photos and wedding videography. Really excited to have her here, and let's welcome her in.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, Abbey, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So your creation of the week here is about your photography. So why don't you just give us a little intro of what you do, where you're located out of?
Yeah, sure. So we actually just recently moved from San Diego, where my husband and I met and where we started this business, to the Chicagoland area. So we're in the western suburbs, and I'm a wedding photographer. Been doing it since 2017. It's been a slow climb, and every year we're just growing a little more.
I came across your work. You posted something recently of some weddings that you've done recently. And I've been thinking a lot about weddings because I'm married as well. And my wife and I talk about how, our wedding was like the greatest day of our lives, and it was just amazing. And really been praying a lot for couples right now who are going through this COVID wedding. There's a lot of pain that's going on, grieving memories. So you had just done a wedding recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot last year, and each one of them looked a little different because each state has been changing their COVID regulations throughout the entire year too. So like Virginia's still only down to like 10 people, small ceremony, where Texas, it's pretty much, wide open. So
Yeah.
yeah, so each one has looked a little different, and each couple's journey has been a little different, but it's been really cool to see how each one of them, as we talk to them, because right from the start, we like to really create a friendship with our couples and keep them in prayer and friendship throughout the entire time that they're planning their wedding up until the big day, and then afterward too. So really, it's been cool and inspirational to see them take their giant plans of a big wedding that they've been dreaming of all their life to, maybe it looks a little different. Maybe it's just immediate family and some close friends. But yeah, each one's been really different.
I saw your photos, and I see a lot of wedding photos because I'm in my late 20s, and it's just like the joke is like it's all weddings now, right? Weddings and babies, and which is great. It's
A good
awesome.
thing. Yeah.
It's great, but it's like almost like the Facebook and Instagram algorithms know who you are. It's like the same ads and stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I saw your photos, and I forgot that I was looking at a COVID wedding
Mm.
because I was caught up in the joy of the photos of the couple and of the experience, and I really found myself going, oh, this just looks like a wedding. And so many other photos, it's like where what you're looking at, and I thought that was really beautiful. Was that a conscious decision, or was it just naturally the way that you like to photograph?
Throughout the day, we're definitely, especially during COVID, we're definitely trying to keep the day as normal as possible. And definitely during like getting ready, a lot of it depends per couple, but usually they're pretty open to just being able to, go no masks depending on who they're getting ready with. And on occasion where they are getting ready with sensitive people or high risk people, the masks stay on, but we try to shoot it like nothing's going on, because those are still going to be your memories. And hopefully COVID will be a distant memory. but your wedding day won't be. So yeah, definitely trying to keep it as normal as possible.
That's a cool quote. Hopefully COVID will be a distant memory, but your wedding won't be. That's that's cool. That's like should be a bumper sticker right now, right? They should be giving you those when you book your venues. Before we go any further about specifically, because I want to get into process, and I think as a filmmaker myself, and I'm familiar with cameras, anytime I'm at a wedding, I am praying for the videographer because I've never done a wedding and I'm petrified of doing them. I don't think I'm good enough in that way to be, it's just a lot of stress. So I want to get into the process of how you do everything that you do. But what made you want to get into photography, videography, and weddings?
Yeah. My journey is kind of like a weird one where I grew up like always being a storyteller and making crazy home videos with my family. We made this, my siblings and I, we made this news station, and we would just dress up like crazy characters and give the family the latest news. And that became kind of a fun, annual kind of like show that we would do. And so always definitely the filmmaker, the storyteller. I wanted to be a director in Hollywood, the big dream, like make movies, make narrative films. But I had a bad habit growing up of confusing what I wanted with what I thought God wanted. I thought that what I wanted couldn't possibly be what God wanted for my life, where that's just me, that's kind of my selfish desire. But what does God want for my life? So so I discerned religious life, loving God and wanting to give him my everything. That led me on a path to, I ended up on a vocations retreat with the sisters, the Dominican sisters, the Mary Mother of the Eucharist up in Ann Arbor. And I remember being there, and it's just so beautiful. If you ever get a chance to visit, it's just the most beautiful
Now, where is
place.
that located exactly?
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Okay.
So beautiful, beautiful convent.
That's where you're from, you said, right?
No, I'm from Round Rock, Texas.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes,
Okay.
all over.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was there in Michigan. I just remember being in this retreat in their beautiful mother house and just thinking like, Lord, I could stay here. Like, this is beautiful. Like, I could be here. And feeling in my heart, God saying like, you could, if you want, like, you have free will, like you could stay here and you'd be happy. But also feeling him tell me like, but I have something else for you. So, and then while I was there, during the spiritual direction, one of the nuns was giving me spiritual direction. She said, you should go to that school you're looking at, that little John Paul the Great Catholic University school. She just told me right off the bat. So I was like, wow, okay, so I went there, and that kind of really helped change my perspective, because God he always cooperates with your free will. Like, he has a plan for you, but if you choose, like, you can choose, and there will be good that comes from that. So God told me, like, you could stay, you could be happy as a sister, but it probably would be a really bad nun. Definitely a longer road to holiness, I think, than my current vocation. So anyway,
that's so cool. So I really like that God cooperates with your free will. I've heard it be said in other ways, but that's a really interesting way of looking at it. And to cut you off 1 second, but I really love too that because so many times you think like sisters or priests, anytime you're on a vocation, it's like we're convincing you to be,
exactly.
you're a good one. We got to keep you. So to have a spiritual director say, hey, it's okay for God to call you in other places. Go to this school. That's pretty profound.
Yeah, definitely. And I was almost searching for that. Like, I just wanted God to tell me, it's okay, you can stay here. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. But I was like, there wasn't that peace there, that once you find your vocation, there's definitely a peace. So anyway, go to John Paul the Great, California. John Paul the Great.
In California?
In California.
Okay.
Yeah, it's near San Diego. It's a tiny little school, but so awesome. Highly recommend it. And then met Josh, my now husband. And yeah, so.
Did you guys meet for like freshman year? You do all 4 years yet?
So it's actually a 3-year program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what a
So
great
both.
school. What did you study exactly, and how did
So
you meet
film
Josh?
production.
Film
So Josh
production.
and I both studied film production. We became quick friends.
Okay.
I promise this is answering your question. I knew you
No, I
asked like
love it.
what
This is why
inspired
this
you.
is. I think this is, to pause for a second here for the audience. This is what we want to hear, is these kinds of things. I can't write all this. We can't capture
Mm,
all of this in. Then we're writing a memoir of sorts. And I think from, as a creative, it's good to hear other people's journeys, because it normalizes our own. And
mm.
it really comfort. And that's what we all need right now so much, is just hear other people. So go for it. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Josh and I became, good friends right off the bat. And a lot of the school curriculum is like you write a lot and you shoot a lot. As soon as you're there, you get a camera in your hand and you're just pumping out stories. So he and I were just really good writing partners. We liked to write a lot of comedies together. We would enter our film festivals at the school, and we enjoyed making all of our classmates laugh. Um, and then eventually we just knew that we liked to make each other laugh most of all. And so he asked me to marry him, and I said yes. So just kind of like reflecting on the journey, especially since being married, it's just Christ has really revealed himself so much deeper to me through my relationship with Josh, just from meeting him through our friendship, and now as a spousal relationship. It's just Christ constantly revealing himself to me, kind of really fulfilling that voice I heard in Ann Arbor of being like, I have something more for you. Like Christ was inviting me to be like, I want to reveal more of myself to you.
Your story is so cool. And again, I think it's so powerful that you had spiritual direction to go in this other direction, and then sure enough, look what unfolds now. You mentioned when you were younger, and I'm always so interested in these kinds of things from fellow, film videographer individuals.
Mm.
You said that you played movies and stuff when you were a kid. How many siblings do you have?
I have six.
Oh
I'm
my
number
God.
two. Yeah.
Wait, you're one of six, or you are one of
I'm
seven?
one of seven, so I'm number
Wow.
two. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So what were the movies as a kid that you were drawn to, that were like you remember seeing and being like, wow?
Yeah. Well, Indiana Jones is my
Yep.
favorite.
Awesome.
My dad really, I think, kind of inspired that. His office is Indiana Jones themed, and I just remember him introducing us to that movie. And I don't know, just I think now from like a filmmaking perspective, just all the practical stunts and
Mm.
yeah, it's Hollywood like at its best, I think.
It really is. Yeah, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan as well. And it's really got a lot of theology in it too. Obviously, the archaeological
Yeah.
aspects. So there's a lot of cool little aspects of it there. And yeah, that's a good one. I love the third one. I love Sean Connery and the
Yes.
father
Yeah.
role.
One and two, and honestly, unpopular opinion, but I don't mind the fourth one
Oh,
because
it's okay.
it's
Yeah, it's
like
okay. Yeah.
it's just as goofy. Like if people are like aliens, but I'm like, you know, like
Yeah.
any other film of theirs, is like kind of out there.
Well,
So
it is. We're going on a real rant here, but I like it. It is interesting though how people like will forgive aliens if it's like if it's displayed in a certain way, but it's like, oh, Indiana Jones. If it's this,
yeah,
but no, you can't. It's like, wait, but every other thing. So I like your open-minded. We need more of that when it comes to
yeah, definitely not its best, but
no.
not its worst either. Number two.
That's where, and you have to remember too. Indiana Jones was meant to be like a different version of Bond, So
Yeah,
originally it was supposed to be all these different genres and all these different worlds that would be,
Western, yeah,
yeah. So didn't really play out like that, but we got some good movies out of it anyway. So
yeah,
all right,
best.
so Indiana Jones,
Yeah,
comedy. You like comedy, so what about comedy?
yeah.
Any in mind?
Top of my head, because honestly, it's not like I'm not drawn to comedy movies really.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Let me think.
Well, the comedy is a lot of it is in TV shows now too.
Yeah, and I really
Like
I'm
The
not
Office is,
about it. The Office, yeah, The
yeah.
Office is a favorite. But yeah,
It's cool that it's interesting that you said comedy and now you do weddings, because some weddings are hilarious. But also too,
some unintentionally so too.
yeah, you get to capture all that stuff.
Oh
That's
yeah,
good. Uncle so-and-so falling over.
Mhm.
Um, but, I think comedies also point, and they always say it's funny because it's true. And a lot of times comedies are the most honest depictions of life, good, bad,
Yeah.
and the ugly. And so that's what you're doing. You're depicting life in your own gifts. So um, you, you and Josh, you get married right after college, or like, what's the somewhat of a time
Yeah.
frame there?
We graduated in 2016, got married in 2017. So
Okay,
we had about an 11-month engagement.
cool. And you started the business right away. Like, what did that exactly look like? I don't want to say
Yeah,
business,
no.
the craft.
Yeah. Being a film student, we definitely I really loved film and was trying to figure out what to do with that as far as like a career. Um, but we also knew that we wanted a family, and the filmmaker lifestyle is really hard, especially if
Yeah.
you're going to do like the LA gig. So yeah, it just led to me being like, well, photography was really a passion in tandem with film, and now I love it more just because of
Mm,
yeah, I don't know the depth you can. I mean, you can get pretty deep with film too, but I just really like
yeah.
capturing an image and then being able to just read a lot out of that one image. Um, yeah, so in the fall of 2017, we got married in the summer. I decided just to go for it, and something about starting a business is like it does not take off right away. You have at least a year of hard work, of a lot of days where you're just like, okay, this isn't meant for me. Like maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe I should just stick
Mm,
my camera in a box and try something else. But throughout that time, Josh was really my encouragement. He was like, no, just stick at it. You're good. People will find you, and God
yeah.
will send us the people that we need to serve. And sure enough, he did. And yeah, it's a long haul, but I felt in those moments where I'm like, I have to give up. God was like
Yeah.
revealing, like, okay, patience and hard work do pay off.
Yeah. Now, when you started your business and you started diving into this, did you originally look at it as I want to do weddings specifically, or would you more of a just photographer? Like, and what would you still consider now? Because no one wants to be just one category of anything. So
So I wasn't sure I wanted to do weddings just because I know how hard they can be, and I hadn't had experience with that. So I was like, oh, it's kind of scary. I don't really want to go there. I
mhm,
like doing portraits of people, families. Families are hard, but
yeah,
also fun. So things that I can control were a lot easier. But I kind of stumbled into my first wedding was just supposed to be, I was supposed to second shoot. That was my plan. I was like, I'll start second shooting some weddings just to get my toe, dip my toe in.
yeah,
And my friend was like, yeah, can you second shoot with me? And then last minute, he had to jump on as the videographer, and he's like, you're on your own. So my very first wedding, I was the sole photographer. It was not planned to be that, but you know, trial and error, got
well,
it
that's the
done.
best way to learn, right? It's just to
Yeah, I
go,
just thrown in the deep end,
yeah.
sure.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't hate it. It was like stressful, but I was like, okay, I got through it. Um, and then yeah, I just got one more after the next one, after the next one. It was like I kept reevaluating. Is this what I like to do? Is this too stressful for me? But overall, like I just fell in love with the wedding day, especially Catholic weddings. Like have my heart just because of the such a deep importance they have.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
I'm glad you said the Catholic wedding, because I always say too to people about like filmmaking and the love of the Catholic perspective through filmmaking is that, and I'm a big Martin Scorsese fan, and it's, Catholicism is so theatrical. It's such a film, like it's so meant to be captured and presented in this way because, you know, it's like a film. It's like it's this epic story that's being told and retold through time, and so capturing that like in a wedding is just probably so
yeah.
amazing. Where do you find like, how do you find the process of shooting a wedding? Like, what does that look like for you in some sort of, you don't have to give us the whole full day, but like, what are the key elements that you're focusing in on?
Sure, yeah. Well, right from the start, like as soon as a couple emails me, I like to try and be like their champion as much as possible. So it's because marriage is such a, I don't know, it's like kind of looked down upon now, especially if we're getting married young, like
Yeah.
a lot of Catholics are. It's like, why are you, tying yourself down so young? But we
Yeah.
need those.
30 is the new 20, right? Isn't that what
Yeah,
they?
definitely need those witnesses. So as soon as they email me, I try to be their champion and create that friendship, like I said. So we do a client meeting, we meet face to face, and then we're in regular contact throughout. So the day of, as soon as I meet them, it's like meeting a friend that I've been in contact with throughout the whole year, or depending on when they contact me. But it's usually well in advance. So we've had a lot of time to talk and to get to know them. And then by the time we're there, it's like it's fun for me because I really get invested in each one. It's like watching my friend get married, and that's really fun. Um,
Mm.
and so the beginning of the day is getting ready. So it's the hype. The bride is usually a little nervous but very excited. And I just like to partake in that. Just really kind of be like, you look gorgeous. It's such an exciting day. Be
Yeah.
able to get those details and those candid moments with the friends, because they tell you, and I'm sure you've experienced this too. Like they tell you your wedding goes like that, and I was like, okay, maybe, but so does it really does.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
so
crazy fast and
yeah,
stressful and
oh,
amazing, but so balancing all that.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And honestly, like you enjoy the day as much as you can, but really I think the photos play a huge role because like it's then you can, in a relaxed state, you can go back and look at the photos, watch the video, and really just kind of remember the day. Yeah, so just getting those candid moments that you might have missed of like your sisters
Mm.
getting ready, doing their hair together. My favorite kind of weddings are weddings that are like really family oriented.
Yeah.
My own was like that. Like my sister did my hair. All of my sister and future sister-in-laws were there getting ready with each other. My friend put together our bouquets. So just because
That's
family
cool.
like creates family, or marriage creates family. So it's just really cool when you know, it's just bringing together family from the start.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just keeping in mind the family throughout the day. And then, of course, the wedding mass itself is just so
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
My favorite shot is the groom watching his bride come down the aisle.
Yep.
It's like my must have shot.
How was Josh at your wedding? Was he
Yeah,
one that lost it or?
no, he didn't.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he definitely got a little emotional,
The
but
ugly cry. That's where the
yeah.
epic ugly cry. I had it all right. I had a little bit of the ugly cry, but kept it. Yeah, but those are great shots. Those
Oh
are
yeah,
always.
that's my favorite when the groom loses it. So yeah,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
sometimes it surprises you on the day. Like at least I thought I'd be like lose it, but I was kind of more like just
Yeah.
be together. So um, until the
Or you
ground.
see, I don't know, you probably seen this from your perspective, the people that you didn't expect, like, someone that you saw before and they're like, oh, they seem all right. And then like something happens at the mass. That's what's beautiful about the mass too, is there's so many elements that are so personal to different people.
Yeah,
The mass experience and there's just certain parts like that hit people differently. So do you get to see that too, or notice that more
yeah,
now that you're behind the lens?
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, especially with my friends' weddings that I kind of know the family a little better. It's cool to like pick out like, oh wow, that was really meaningful. Or
Mm.
um, yeah. Also, I think it brings, and this is just coming to me, like it brings like a much deeper like spousal relationship of Christ in the Eucharist, for us, and just brings the whole um, wedding celebration and the mass. Um, I don't know, like more to the forefront of your mind during a wedding ceremony because it's like, oh wow, Christ, you know, is the bridegroom of the church. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's that humility aspect too, and I think it's you have the sacrament of marriage, but then especially if you do a full mass, you then are reminded, well, we're still going to go to the altar, and that's like the best. I love that. I think it's again that humility of like this is really important, but it's nothing without this part. Right? We're
yeah,
going to go
yeah,
experience. You said something before, and I want to make sure I capture this and don't forget this because anyone listening, creatives that are listening, I think this is a really important factor that you said is taking the time to get to know whoever you're going to work with is the glue to it all. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because I do mostly documentary when I pick up a camera. Not so much photography, but I do understand where the love for photography could come into play. But for me, most of my things are one-on-one with the subject. And yeah, anytime that I've been patient and taking the time to get to know the person, it's the
Hmm.
best experience ever.
Yeah, and you can really mine those real moments.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And you build trust. You, it's way more unique. And I don't know about you, but like, I feel like we live in a culture where it's all a matter of like, you measure your money, your gear, all the tech stuff. And we all get, caught up in the idea of like, if I don't have the right lens and the
Mhm.
right thing, um, who cares? What's
Oh
the
yeah.
story,
Oh yeah.
you
And I
know?
mean, the number one rule of like photography, of like marketing is like they're not purchasing a package. They're
Mm,
purchasing you, like the experience with you.
yeah.
Um, and as a wedding photographer, you're with them from the morning all the way until the end of the night when they leave. I definitely make that a point to like make connections with them, and it's cool because like you just make new friends,
Yeah.
especially. Well, this is cool because every one of my clients will have a client meeting, and without fail, there's always a line that they say. They say, it was really important to us that we find a photographer who knows the importance of the maps. As soon as they say that, I'm like, okay, you're my client,
Wow.
because it's just cool when you find your people. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just really connect over what's important about the day. And so having that person who's going to be with you throughout the day, who also has the same values as you, is really huge.
That's really special. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So exactly, taking the time to get to know people and build that relationship, or else it's just a camera in your face. And then, yeah, that no one wants that really,
Yeah.
A sidetrack for a minute, just because I'm always curious about this, just talking to photographers who do wedding photography. What's it like going to a wedding now where you're not the photographer?
Yeah. Well, it's rare for me.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny. I went to a wedding recently where my husband was doing the videography. So, but I was like there and I like couldn't sit in my chair like the whole day. I was like, I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
Um, I had my little son there, my 2-year-old, so he was my little wedding date. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm
He kept you
usually
busy.
watching the photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying not to critique.
Yeah, try not to critique, or like you see someone where you're like, oh, I kind of want to see if I can help, or like, or
Yeah,
did they're doing, I'm worried about how that's going to look in the edit. You ever think of that,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
you're like, what am I,
Where I'm also like, well, it's not,
yeah, yeah, and you're
not
like,
my problem to edit.
yeah, exactly. Um you do photo, do you ever do video, or does your husband do the video?
So my husband does the video.
Okay.
Like I said, I have a degree in film production, so I know no cameras. He's
Mhm.
definitely the mastermind. So most of our weddings booked are photo and video. So he's actually shooting a lot with me. Um, and then I'll, because we both are there, like I definitely pop in when he needs, if I can be an extra hand to him. um, yeah, but we're a great team because during the moments, maybe like during bridal portraits, we take turns to direct the couple. I'll get in there and get those candid moments and also the pose shots. But as you know, film, you don't want like people standing still for
Yeah.
the video. So Josh will tag team, jump in there and give them an action. So it's a lot of back and forth throughout the day.
What do you think is one of the biggest things you've learned about now you went to school for it, so it's a little bit more unique. And but what do you think, as you've been going through this process of doing these jobs, especially through COVID, what's the biggest thing you've learned from this craft and growing in the craft? There's the technical stuff you learn, but what are some of those deeper things that you feel like you're like, wow, I would have never thought of that?
Yeah, well, definitely, especially with COVID, a lot of the wedding industry has taken a big hit because,
Yeah.
people just aren't getting married. Although Catholics will get married. So, because they know it's more than just a big party. And
Yeah.
a lot of people think that it's more than that too, but definitely the emphasis on the wedding mass and the sacrament is just so huge. And so Catholics are still getting married. If anything, they were like, we're going to get married sooner. It's been really inspirational because like Catholic weddings, Catholic couples are like, no, the importance is that we're joined in the mass, in the sacrament. And even if I can't have the party, it's like, we're going to get married. So, and the beautiful trust that they have has kind of hopefully rubbed off on me of like in a year that's been, was kind of nerve wracking, especially as I'm still growing the business. It's not like we're having like all these inquiries pouring in every day, it's so each year is like, okay, what's this year gonna hold? It's just trust in God. So, so seeing the couples be like, whatever happens is gonna be the way that we'll remember it and love the day. Just so it's like in a year that was supposed to be kind of touch and go, God really just poured out, a great feast for these couples and for myself. Getting to know certain couples throughout this year has been awesome, and then also just booking more weddings than I have in the past. So despite the hard year.
That's remarkable. Yeah, there's that theory in the artistic world, but I think it applies to anything, is that when you take things away, you're really forced to work with what you should be working with and get down to the bare bones and the essentials. And I think COVID's done that to a lot of industries, and it's been a horrible thing. So I don't want to say it's like, but I know for myself too, in my own ministry work and just personally, just as a human, I feel like it's forced me to really look at what's here right in front of me. Like where are my feet right now, and how am I going to make the most of that? And so you're seeing that all across the board with people planning weddings. This might be really, really personal, but I'll give it a shot anyway. What do you feel like? I can't imagine. It must be so cool to, be with your husband at all these weddings. Like, what does that do for you guys as a couple? Like, what's that like to be able to witness all of these?
Yeah, it's really profound. It just keeps our own vows, at the forefront of our mind. And usually we'll be set up, next to each other while the vows are going on. And like, oftentimes it'll be like, we'll just hear the vows and like look at each other and just like, nod. It is profound because it definitely does keep it real. Because everyday life, like, it's easy to kind of forget exactly, like that, when you're engaged, you're like so excited and ready just to jump in, and you like hear it's going to be hard, but you're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm so in love and it's beautiful and we can do this. And then, everyday life hits and it's hard. But God's grace through the sacrament is there.
Oh, it's beautiful. What's some fun facts about you as a creative that we should know? What's something? Feel free to get really random here too.
Okay, well, I ride a unicycle.
Okay.
So is that random enough?
That's pretty random.
Most kids like ask for a new bike. I asked for a unicycle. I was like, I want a unicycle. And so when I was 11, my parents got me a unicycle, and it's really awesome. It has green flames up the side.
You still ride it? You still have it?
Yeah.
That is, so it wasn't like a Christmas, like, I want this, and then it just sat there like those.
Yeah, I learned. Like, my dad helped me too. It's so funny, like just like he taught me to ride a two-wheeler, he was out there helping me to learn it when I was 11. So, and it was one of those things, like once you ride a bike, you can ride bikes. Once you can ride a unicycle, honestly, like you can ride a unicycle.
I'll take your word for it and just let you keep working on that one. That's really unique. That's pretty cool. What's a good movie you've seen recently? Let's there's a lot of downtime for people. What's anything good?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot here. I know.
No, it's okay. Oh, you know what? No, I haven't, because my husband's doing Exodus 90. So we haven't been doing any movies. Oh, just kidding. But we did have like a Sunday, like what's the word? Like,
oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
I don't know. I forgot. But
yeah, me too. I
watched Rocky for the first time.
For the first time.
For the first time.
Wow.
I know. There's actually a lot of like classics that I need to see. But
Well,
I saw Rocky.
that's very honorable of you to be honest about it.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's a little embarrassing, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Rocky was like a little underwhelming. So
Well, by now it's too much. It's you're not watching it like you're going Rocky. What's Rocky?
yeah,
You're watching
yeah,
it like it's
like
Rocky.
it's Rocky. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's a tough sell. I think that happens to a lot of movies nowadays where you got I that's why I struggle with that too. Everyone's like, you gotta see this. If you tell me I gotta see this, and I know I'm stealing like
yeah,
probably a Jerry Seinfeld joke here, but I'm not watching it. If you tell me I gotta see it,
yeah,
I'm not. I'm gonna wait 5 years and then give it a chance. But
yeah. Well, then I won't tell you to watch Room,
oh, I did.
not the Room,
Yeah,
but
Room.
Room.
Yeah, saw it.
Okay,
That
that's
is
so good, right? So good.
just
Yeah.
we're talking.
Anyone who
Wait,
hasn't seen it, go watch it.
wait. We're talking Room with Brie Larson, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, heartbreaking, but very, very powerful.
yeah. So beautiful. It's like, yeah, the mother's love for her child.
Mm.
Yeah, and as a mother, it's like it's home. So
And also, too, a child who was born in extraordinary circumstances, and I think
yeah,
with a lot of discussion about those kinds of circumstances, here's a great film
yeah,
to kind of provide a real commentary. I always think, especially with those topics in the church, the only way we really can have discussions is if we look at, again, films do it so well. We look at films or material that speak to true experiences that are not easy to talk about.
hmm
Um, and yeah, that movie destroyed me. Now I
yeah,
haven't that movie. My wife and I actually both watched that together, and we're just like, wow,
yeah.
oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you for taking the time to chat and share a little bit more. I think this is really great for people to get to know you a little bit more. How can they find more about your business and the work that you're doing?
Yeah,
Plug it. Let's go.
yeah. You can definitely go to my website, abbyrezphotography.com. Um, my Instagram account. But we also have for any brides who are interested, my husband and I, it's only for women, so it's really just me.
Mm-hmm.
But we run a Facebook group for Catholic brides. It's called Catholic Brides Planning Catholic Marriages because, it's more than just a
Yeah.
day, it's a lifetime. So it's for women who just really feel like, the wedding industry itself is kind of crazy. So when you're a bride in the midst of planning, refocusing on like what's important. So it's a small community, but we have over 100 women now. And we started it during COVID just as a space for women to be like, share community during their plans being turned upside down. And it's been really cool to see just the growth of it, and then also just how we've been praying for each other and sharing resources and stuff. So it's a great space.
It's such a great idea because that's so awesome because there are so many groups like, find your best dress group. There's all these different things. Why not have that?
Yeah,
That's really smart. And I think there's also too a lot of brides or and husbands, grooms as well who are afraid to be honest and say like, hey, I don't know everything I probably should know about. I'm a Catholic and I think I'm a good Catholic, but I'm also I don't know everything. So it's good to have those platforms. You kind of say, hey, this might be a dumb question, but
yeah,
we
for
talk
sure.
about it.
We
So
have brides who are like, I'm a recent convert, like
yeah,
help me out, sisters. So it's been good.
that's
Yeah.
so awesome. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing. It's not only really creative, but it's really fruitful. So, yeah, great stuff. Such a great way to kick off this new way that we're going to be trying things and doing things. So,
Yeah, I'm
thank
really
you.
excited to see, who else is on here. I can't wait to meet some more creatives through this platform. So,
Awesome. Well, thanks, Abby, for taking the time.
yeah.
Have a great day. All right.
You too, Christian. Thanks.
Well, thanks for watching this Catholic Creatives Creation of the Week video conversation. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Abby, for being here. Hope to see you all soon with a new conversation. And yeah, God bless and keep on creating. All right.